Hello student, very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. Do you remember what were we discussing yesterday? I think yesterday we were discuss about the migratory aptitude regarding as a Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction, and by using that migratory aptitude how we can predict the product, how the rate of reaction is increase or decrease, whether there is a reaction facilitated by electron releasing substituent or electron withdrawing substituent. That kind of the thing we have discussed in our previous lecture. So today what we are going to discuss the remaining part of the Baeyer-Villiger oxidation reaction. Baeyer-Villiger oxidation reaction means what? Or the Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction. And in 1899, A. Baeyer and V. Villiger, two German chemists, have converted ketone into ester is known as Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction. If the symmetrical ketones are there, then there will be no problem of predicting as a product, but unsymmetrical ketones are present. In case of the aliphatic ketone, then there will be a problem. Always remember, electron releasing group accelerate or facilitate the Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction. If on one side there is a primary group and another one is a secondary, so you have to insert the oxygen atom high on those side which is highly branched side. So that is the migratory aptitude, that the point you should keep in mind while discussing that. So the third point which we are going to discuss regarding Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction will be the stereochemistry. Stereochemistry. Stereochemistry, when there is a rearrangement reaction is occur, is there configuration? If you start with the optically active compound and after the formation of the product, whether this compound, its configuration just like as R and S configuration, whether they are retained or there is a inversion of configuration, such in case of the SN2 reactions are there we are getting as a complete inversion of the configuration means, and from that we are saying that if you start the optically active compound, if your substrate has a R configuration, and if you observe if you determine the optical activity of the formed compound, obtained the compound, and you will find there is a complete inversion. If your substrate has a R configuration, your product should be a S configuration. So such a type of the inversions are occurred there. So such a kind of the possibility is there in a Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement or not, that kind of the thing which we are checking over here. So that type of the thing is called as a stereochemistry. Stereochemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the study of organic compound, their orientation in a three-dimensional space is known as a stereochemistry. So that we are here. The Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement involve simultaneous 1-2 shift of alkyl or aryl group from carbon to oxygen with loss of carboxylate ion, and therefore the ketone in which the migrating group has an asymmetric means chiral center means the carbon atom which carries a 4 different group is known as a chiral carbon or the asymmetric carbon, gives a product with completely retention of configuration of the asymmetric carbon. Retention of configuration means what? If your starting material, if your substrate has R configuration, and when the product is formed, see here your substrate is suppose as a ketone, as we know that in a beer vinegar rearrangement reaction your starting material should be the ketone and your product must be an ester, and there is a insertion of oxygen atom take place, and during that process some rearrangement reactions are occur simultaneously. If your substrate has a R configuration, and if you determine the product's optical activity, it must be a R configuration. Your product also showing as R configuration, it means that there is a complete retention of configuration, means whatever your substrate, whatever your reactant has a configuration, if your starting material has a S configuration, your product must be the S configuration. So that type of the stereochemistry is obtained over here. So let's see one of the example here. I am showing here. Suppose we have a C6H5CH, then CS3, C double bond O, and then here is a CS3. Look at, this is an aliphatic compound, but in addition to that aliphatic ketone, this compound is optically active or optically inactive. It's definitely is optically active, because this compound, this substrate has one chiral center. Look at this carbon atom attached to 4 different group, and therefore that carbon atom is always denoted by the asterisk or that star indicate as a chiral center. And if chiral center only one is present, there are 2 enantiomers are there. Enantiomer means what? They are non-superimposable mirror images of each other, are known as enantiomers. Here one is a R and S configuration, so that type of things are there. But here just remember here is a chiral center. Now when it is treated with the per acid generally here per acid as a, suppose let us see here CF3COOH, that is a trifluoroperacetic acid. Trifluoroperacetic acid, it is an per acid, so it is a beer vinegar oxidation reaction. And now the question arises here, you have to insert the oxygen atom here on left hand side or right hand side. So remember, it is highly branched side, so your oxygen atom, you must insert the oxygen atom adjacent to the carbonyl carbon on which side there is a branched side. So you should get here C6H5CH and CS3O, C double bond O and the CS3. Look at here, and this chiral center remains as it, whatever configuration is there in the starting material, it retained as it is. So this is optically active, this is also as optically active compound, and if the substrate has a R configuration, your product also has a R configuration, means there is a complete retention of configuration is obtained. So that type of the stereochemistry we have seen over here. That is, here the configuration is retained. Configuration is retained over here. So that is the configuration is retained. So now whatever the point or the what we can call it as a requirement for Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement, all we have discussed now. At the end of this reaction, now what is the next point? As usual, we are going to study that now is applications of Baeyer-Villiger oxidation reaction. So now we are going to study the applications over here. Applications. Now is a application. There are some of the application which are used in a different industry that we are going to see here. Here oxidation of cyclic ketones takes place with ring expansion to form a lactones. That is the first application. What is that application? Oxidation of cyclic ketone take place with ring expansion to form a lactones. So that is one of the application. The oxidation of cyclic ketone takes place with ring expansion to form a lactose. Suppose you have a cyclic ketones. Let me show over here. This is a cyclopentanone. It is one of the example over here. When it is treated with metachloroperbenzoic acid, what could be the product form here? See the starting material, which is a symmetrical ketone. This one is a symmetrical ketone, and therefore there is a insertion of oxygen takes place. That is a Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction. Baeyer-Villiger rearrangement reaction. This is a named reaction, and what you are going to get? You are going to get the 6-membered ring. There is a expansion of ring takes place because there is a insertion of oxygen atom, and means there is a expansion of ring takes place, and that we will get cyclopentanone to the delta valorolactone. This is a delta alpha, beta, gamma, and delta valorolactone. Delta valorolactone, that is a compound which we have obtained. So this is one of the application of this. Now suppose we have one more example. Above one is a cyclopentanone. This is also as a cyclohexanone. Cyclohexanone is a 6-membered ring. When it is treated with CF3COOOH, that is a trifluoroacetic acid, in presence of CF3COOH, that is trifluoroacetic acid. Look at here, this is a per acid, trifluoroperacetic acid. This one is called as a trifluoroacetic acid. Act as a solvent, and we are going to get here C double bond O. There is a insertion of oxygen atom this way, and you will be getting this one. This will be the alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon. So epsilon caprolactone we are getting. Epsilon caprolactone we are getting over here, and that caprolactone may be used for the synthesis of polymer in a textile polymer industries for the formation of different compounds. Now let us move on to the next. This is the application number 1. There is a oxidation of cyclic ketone. Oxidation of cyclic ketone to takes place with ring expansion to to form a lactose. That is the first application which we have described here, or we have seen over here. Now the second application which we are going to discuss over here is, as it is, second application. Second application is like this: camphor on treatment with Carros acid, uric acid, persulfuric acid gives alpha campholite. That is one of the application. Camphor, you know that camphor, the structure of camphor will be this one. It is a highly branched, and there is an oxygen atom, that is called as a camphor. This one is a camphor, and while this camphor has a ketonic compound over here, carbonyl compound, and now it will be treated with the per acid, uric acid like H2SO5. Remember, H2SO4 means that is sulfuric acid, but this H2SO5 is called as a uric acid. Uric acid. H2SO5 is known as a uric acid, and during that per acid, what you are going to get, the oxygen atom is going to insert over here. So the product form will be this one. So let us see here, oxygen atom and then carbonyl group will be getting as this type of the compound over here. Look at the oxygen atom and form an lactone over here. So this is a camphor, and after the camphor we are getting as alpha campholide. This is alpha campholide. Alpha campholide will be obtained in this reaction. So that camphor on treatment with Carros acid, this one is called as a Carros acid, or a uric acid, persulfuric acid. This is known as a uric acid or persulfuric acid. It is utilized for the synthesis of ester or lactone. When there is a cyclic ester, it is generally termed as a lactone. And now the next one, third application which we are going to discuss over here. Let us see third application. Suppose we have a compound over here. Let me clean the board first. Suppose you have a starting material, once again as a cyclic ketone. There is a methyl group over here. Here also as a methyl group CH3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It is known as a 2,3-dimethyl cyclohexanone, and when it is treated with per acid, generally metachloroperbenzoic acid, what could be the product? The product, now this ketone is an unsymmetrical ketone. Once again, unsymmetrical ketone, and therefore the insertion of oxygen takes place or occur when there is a branched side. Here, look at here, the branched side this way, and therefore the product formed must be this one. This is a product which we are getting over here. This one, this methyl group as it is, this methyl group also as it is. There is an expansion of ring takes place over here. This is also as a lactone formation. Lactone, it is a common name given to that ring structures. So I think these are the different applications which we have discussed about that beer vinegar rearrangement reaction. So here, what are the important points you should remember while studying, or maybe for objective type of the, because you are going to face the mode of examination is online, and therefore if you know the beer vinegar rearrangement reaction thoroughly, so if there any kind of the question if they are going to ask, you can able to solve that problem. Because suppose if they will give you the starting material as a ketone, symmetrical or unsymmetrical, if symmetricals are there, then you are going to get as only one product. They will give different 4 products are there. Among that 4 products, you have to choose, you have to select the correct alternative from the 4th. So if you know the what we can call it as these reaction in detail, then you can able to predict, able to solve the problem over there. So next one is the stereochemistry. If your substrate has R configuration, and while getting as a product, and that product also is a configuration is retained, inversion remain, so that type of the question may appear over there. You can solve, you can choose as a correct alternative from the following. Then migratory aptitude. If you know the migratory aptitude over here, so electron releasing groups are there, then the rate or that reaction is facilitated by the electron releasing substituent. If it is not, then it get, if electron on a aryl compounds are there, aryl compound, then aryl compound always having some electron donating group or electron withdrawing group, and there is a what we can call it as a migratory aptitude orders are remember, and if you remember those order, then you can able to predict the product very easily. Or what type of the reagents are generally employed in beer vinegar oxidation, peracid or acid, or what else others are there. So how and what kind of the migration, the electron diffusion, oxygen atom or nitrogen atom, or what type of the intermediate are formed in a beer vinegar oxidation reaction, and what type of the side product or what will be the living group is depart during that reaction, and that are the possible question may appear in a way. And I hope if you know this reaction, you can able to answer all these questions in a well manner. So in our next lecture, we are going to discuss the next rearrangement reaction, like as a Favorsky rearrangement reaction. What do you mean by the Favorsky rearrangement reaction? Whether it is a acid catalyzed, base catalyzed, or something else. What are the starting material? What are the reagents used during, and how the products are obtained? So this kind of the discussion, detailed discussion, we are going to discuss in our upcoming lecture. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.